got your manipulation. Hi Jim, Bethany here. So for the last 2 weeks, thanks to your video, I've been thinking about mindfulness and manipulation, and my response comes in 2 parts, and we'll see if I can connect it into a smooth narrative. Part 1, on manipulation. So there's this guy, Edward Bernays, who was published in the American Journal of Sociology back in 1928. For reference, 1928 was the year Hoover became president and penicillin was discovered. So the article title is Manipulating Public Opinion, the Why and the How, and it simultaneously intrigues me and pisses me off. Bernays is considered the father of modern PR and propaganda, and in the piece, he says civilization is limited by inertia. Majority ideas are most often old ones. Public opinion is slow and reactionary and does not easily accept new ideas. So Bernays lays out a process for shaping public opinion, which looks something like this. 1. Analyze the problem and its consequences. 2. Identify the desired outcome, the opinion to manipulate toward. 3. Discover the source to give it a foundation and credibility. 4. Enlist the help of key tastemakers and thought leaders to give the idea social capital, influence, credibility, and authority. 5. Roll out publicly to shape the general opinion. This might not be shocking to us, but 86 years ago, integrating sociology and psychology into traditional advertising and PR was a big deal. He proposed a method to engineer consent that still influences us today. The journal article includes several examples of spectacles ranging from selling a wider range of hats to an NAACP convention to fight racism. And given the inertia of groupthink, I can see the need for persuasion or even manipulation of public opinion to give traction to new ideas. Take Apple's recent spectacle. It was followed by the usual snark and cynicism, but the same thing occurred 7 years ago, and now smartphones are ubiquitous and have changed the way we perceive and interact with the world around us. Even so, I'm conflicted when it comes to Bernays. I'm not sure a method can be agnostic, and then there's this nugget from his book, Propaganda. If we understand the mechanism and motives of the group mind, is it not possible to control and regiment the masses according to our will without their knowing about it? The recent practice of propaganda has proved that it is possible, at least up to a certain point and within certain limits. Which brings me to part 2. On meditation. So I'm also thinking about the place of mindfulness in the midst of manipulation. Say that 7 times fast. I'm in the middle of some contract interaction design work, and last week I was in Austin, Texas working on wireframes for a new product. I probably killed about 17 trees with all the paper and the Sharpies that I used. I don't think Sharpies come from trees. Because I get on a roll, and then I'd step back and throw out everything I'd done. For the next 2 or 3 days, I ping-ponged between, I've totally got this, and I hate it all. I always have that tendency when I create something. Whether it's a piece of curriculum hot off the press, or a talk I've given, or even a Coastal Curiosities video, my honeymoon period lasts about 22 minutes. Then I start picking it apart and noticing all the places for improvement. According to a brilliant designer friend, that's the curse of being a designer. Get used to it. That's comforting. So back to Austin. During lunch one day, I joked that I hated everything I made the day before, and by tomorrow, I would hate today's work too. Because once something becomes more real, it loses a little bit of its luster. The artifact invites critique, which makes it better in the next iteration, but it also means I'm always thinking about the next thing and perpetually dissatisfied. That's stupid. One of the other designers at lunch empathized and said this is why he thinks designers should have a meditation practice. When we're so future-oriented, it's important to be in the present, absorb the now, and find the beauty and peace in that. Of course, I haven't actually started a meditation practice yet, but I want to, because I think it's a way to manipulate a life-giving behavior and maybe even become more aware of and resistant to Bernaysian forms of manipulation. Here's my question for you, Jim. How much are you shaped by spectacle? How much by reflection? And how do you think that relates to faith formation in the church today, or even historically? That's my bicoastal curiosity. Can't wait to hear what you think, Jim. Bye! Bye! I don't know what my puppet voice is. On manipulation. Oops, that's not it at all. Oh, you're the worst. Husband problem. Bit.